What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Wednesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt to follow me, at BettingPros to follow BettingPros, YouTube for the video, audio on every single audio platform you can imagine. And we are here after a 2-1 night. Not bad. Little plus money on the run line for the Mets. Not going to shake a stick at that. 2-1 with plus money. Not bad. As easy of a bet as we will ever cash on the over 6.5. Told you, team total Colorado over 4. That cashed for me as well. That was nice. I hit over 10.5. That was nice. Could just live bet that. I saw on the screen that DraftKings had, and that couldn't have been right, but over 11 goals at minus 875. I'm like, what are we doing even advertising that on TV? Like, come on, guys. That's just bad. But anyways, it was a good night. If you were betting overs, that was, team total Colorado over, team total Oilers over, game over, live over. 14.5 didn't cash for you. Sorry. The only one didn't cash. Boy, do we have a different game tonight going between the Rangers and the Lightning. We'll get to that here in just 1 second. I have 3 bets in the NBA for the finals. Because of what we have going with a 10-1 and 7-1 official plays for 1 unit each on the finals. So we're going to win 10 units with the Celtics or 7 units with the Warriors. So we're good to win 6 or 9 guaranteed. I'm going to be a little more aggressive in some secondary markets. And I did a Twitter Spaces last night that some of you guys with the Juice audience were on it for my other job. And a listener pointed out, and so why I love doing this stuff, because you guys help us in such amazing ways. You tip us off to plays. There's a couple of prop bets that I'm going to make going into game 1 before the series begins that are on the series that I really do like, that I want to jump in on. So we're going to take a unit, we're going to break it up into 3 bets, and we're going to go ahead and hop in here on a couple of plays. So looking forward to doing that coming up here on the podcast. But before I get to the picks, let me tell you about our friends at Sleeper. They are back here again. Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform today, millions of players. You guys may have a league on there now. They're back with their new over-under game, Sleeper. It's super simple. You go in, choose any sport, you place 2 or more players, make the pick that you like for the over or the under on their prop, and then you choose the amount of money you want to enter into the contest. If you pick correctly, you can win anywhere from 2 times to over 20 times the money that you put in. This is really cool. They got a group chat button. You can go up against your boys and find out which one of you is best at betting props. Stop what you're doing. Download Sleeper now to play their new over-under game. Have fun with your friends and make some money on your mobile phone. Pick up your phone right now. Join the listener group for Sleeper at sleeper.com/dailyjuice, and Sleeper will match your first deposit of up to $100. Again, go to sleeper.com/dailyjuice. You'll get $100 to be matched on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Okay, so let's start with hockey, and then we'll get to basketball. Look, this is not going to be an earth-shattering type of breakdown here, okay? Tampa Bay is going to have a hot goalie. The Rangers are going to have a hot goalie. It's 5.5. This is the anti-game we saw last night, okay? This is a 3-2 win, one side or the other. Look, I know the power play for both these teams are really good, and it's the one big worry that you have going into this game coming up is that, okay, what are the referees going to do? Because if they're whistle happy, both these power plays can score, but the goaltenders with Igor and Vasilevsky, they just have the ability to shut down the other offenses. And so, look, in the regular season, this is what everyone's talking about with the Rangers. 4-3, 4-0, 2-1. They won all 3 games. Only 1 went over. The 4-3 goes over with 7, but 4 goes under and 3 goes under in the last 2 games. Rangers at home won 4-0. They have home ice. They won both games in Tampa as well. But look, I don't know who wins this game. A lot of people say it's been very disrespectful, that the series price is very disrespectful, that the Rangers are plus 160 dogs and they have home ice, that's wrong. I think Igor can stand on his head. I think Igor can steal the game. They can steal game 1. They can protect home ice. Might be able to win both games potentially, but my head says Tampa wins this series. But for tonight, I'm just going to play the total under 5.5, Lightning and the Rangers. That's coming in at minus 110 at most sports books tonight. Now, I am going to play a second bet here for a half a unit on this game. I think this is going to be a sleepy game and a sleepy start. At BetMGM and a bunch of other books around the country, you can find no goals in the first 10 minutes. In the first 10 minutes, so a goal gets scored, it's 9:59 in the game. Nothing gets scored. It's plus 110 on the no for no goals in the first 10 minutes of this series. I just think Igor, and I think you've got Vasilevsky to play hard. I think it's probably 0-0 after one, maybe 1-0, a later period goal, but I'm going to bank on these goalies to do really a good job to set a message, to set a tone for the series about this is going to be hard to get the puck past me, and hopefully no power plays. Be disciplined. Hopefully the referees don't give a power play to either team. If we do, we're going to be sweating through it big time on this. Garden's going to be electric. No debating that. No debating that. MSG is going to be on fire for the Rangers. Blue shirt posse going to be out like crazy. I just think we got the under 5.5, and we have no goals in the first 10 minutes of the first period. Plus 110 on that. Minus 110 on the latter. Half unit bets coming in on either one. Okay. We went 1-1 on baseball yesterday. Got the Mets run line here. If you want to run that back and run the Mets run line again here today against Washington, I don't hate that bet. I'm going to personally be on it. I'm not going to make it official, but you're laying juice. It's minus 115 at home. I hate laying juice on the run line, but it's minus 240. Total's 9. I mean, it's Lee's going for the Nationals. Carrasco goes for the Mets. I'll be on that personally. So you want some extra baseball action. I think the Mets on the run line is probably a decent bet after what they did yesterday to Washington, how bad Washington is. They're still the worst team in baseball against the run line. The Mets are the third best. Just a bad matchup. Washington's a bad baseball team, and the Mets are playing really well. So I don't mind that. We could have swept the board last night. I mean, the Padres had a runner thrown out at the plate in the top of the 10th, and then Albert Pujols gets a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 10th to win the game. So unfortunate break, but that's just the way things go. So first two games, you want to take the Padres with Yu Darvish to bounce back and not get swept in this series. Well, minus 130, Padres are favored. It's not a bad bet there, but they've lost the first two games of this series so far. Maybe the Cardinals do wind up sweeping them, but that's one play you could make if you want to make it with baseball coming up here tonight. But let's talk about the NBA Finals. So FanDuel has this bet. I've not seen this anywhere else. This is a FanDuel-specific prop for the Finals. Draymond Green to record 5 or more assists in every game of the series. It's 5-1. It's plus 500. I'm putting a half a unit on this, and here is why. The offense runs through Draymond Green. He averages 7 assists per game. Draymond Green has had 5 or more assists in every game in the month of May in the playoffs, except one. 9, 6, 5, 5, 3 on May 18th. 8, 5, 5, 8, 7. Generally speaking, he's going over 5, but he's getting to 5 consistently. Now, in the game in which he only had 3 assists, Draymond Green played 29 minutes, 10 points. He had 9 rebounds and 3 assists, a couple of steals and a block, 0 for 1. But game flow, the ball just didn't go through him, and he was in foul trouble for parts of that game against the Mavericks. So that limited his ability to contribute to the offense. But Draymond Green's going to have a big on him. He's going to most likely have Al Horford on him, meaning he can stand at the top of the 3 and facilitate and pass and get the cuts in the back doors. Boston's very good at switching, and Boston's very good at stopping back doors. But I do think that Draymond Green has the chance to have double-doubles here with points and assists consistently. Like 7, 8, 9, 10 assists. Not going to be hard, I don't think, for Draymond Green to get here. Even though, as I've talked about, I do like the under for tomorrow. I think Draymond Green goes over it's 5.5 is the prop for him, assists in the game. So if he goes to 5, our bet's live, but that bet would lose. So I just think this is a great flyer bet. As I mentioned, we've got some free money to run in here. Half a unit. Draymond Green, 5-1, plus 500 to have at least 5 assists in every game of the NBA Finals. FanDuel's got it. I think this is a good bet, man. This is if you make a half a unit play here, you come in here and it's you're gonna win 2.5 units on Draymond Green. Half a unit, Draymond Green, 5 or more assists. That bet's at FanDuel. You can jump in for a half a unit. I am at 5-1. And then 2 other bets, a quarter unit each on the series game total. Different books will have different prices. But let's just take FanDuel because I was on here for Draymond Green. FanDuel, for the series to go 5 games, it's plus 250. For the series to go 6 games, it's plus 190. I had a friend of mine who follows me on Twitter show me a model that he had created, and the model actually liked Boston in 5. The best value is betting the Celtics to win in 5. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but what if Boston does shock the world? What if Boston wins in 6? Doesn't it feel like the Warriors, if they win in 6? I don't know about game 7. That would burn us. If it goes to a 7-game series, we'd lose half a unit here. But I'm going to take a flyer again. Quarter unit at plus 250 on the series to go 5 games, and then the series to go 6 games. Quarter unit at plus 290. So I think you can play around with prices. Obviously, we want the 5 to hit, but if we don't get the 5 to hit, we come in on the plus 190, we go down a little bit, but we basically have ourselves to go in it. So essentially, it's a free flyer on 5 games. If 7 comes in, we miss both plays, but you can play around with the units that you want to jump into if you want to follow this. But I think this series goes 6 games. I think it's the most logical. It's a 4-2 win for one of these 2 teams. And it could be Boston for that matter. I mean, Boston, if you like Boston win the series at plus, at 6 games, that's Boston's home game. And Boston wins at home, Boston wins the series. So I think the teams are going to split. I think it's going to be an under in game 1. I think Warriors win game 1. I think Boston comes back, will pounce on the Celtics in game 2. We'll take their money line. We'll take them plus the points for game 2. Probably take the under as well in game 2. And then game 3 will be monster. If Boston protects home court and goes up 2-1, they got a chance to go up 3-1. They go back to the Warriors. It's a 2-2-1-1-1 setup. Warriors win game 5. Boston wins game 6. Series ends in 6. Boston wins the series. I mean, you can jump in if you want on Boston to win the series. It's plus 135 right now. I have a 10-1 on that. I don't need to get into with Boston at plus 135 at the moment, but just a way to play it, way to look at it if you want with this series, just something to keep in mind. So very cool. A lot of fun on the Discord channel last night during the hockey game. We'll do that again here tonight for the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. BettingPros.com/chat to get into it, or the link underneath me on YouTube if you guys are watching it on YouTube. 2-1 last night. Let's come back with another good night here tonight. Again, 3 basketball plays, 2 hockey plays. In hockey, under 5.5 at minus 110 for Rangers Lightning. No goal in the first 10 minutes at plus 110. Also a half a unit for the hockey game. We're going Draymond Green, 5 or more assists in every game of the NBA Finals at plus 500 at FanDuel. And we're going to go a quarter unit on the series to go 5 games at plus 250. And the series to go 6 games at plus 190. Each of those bets for a quarter unit, jumping in with that. Lots more to come, including prop bets in game 1 that I'm eyeballing and prop bets for the series that I am eyeballing that we'll do tomorrow on the Thursday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. But today, let's have some fun. Hockey rolling, 2 bets on the hockey game. I'm not going to bet baseball today. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It's the Daily Juice podcast, always being brought to you by BetMGM.